let's get into some predictions for Fastlane. It is not a big card, but I'm actually pretty interested in all these matches. I think they've done a pretty good job of building up some anticipation within me, a cynical, longtime wrestling fan.
Subscribe!
All right, we have the LWO going against Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Lashley and the Street Profits need to win. They are a new faction, and I think they could do really great things. This is the Street Profits, becoming heel for the first time in a while. For the most part, on the main roster, they've been faces. I want to see them like Darth Vader evil. I want to see them dominate. I want to see them be a force to be reckoned with. They need to win this. I think they need to win this really convincingly, and I think they do. All right, Chris Brown agreeing with me. Lashley and Street Profits. Mike Rainey also agreeing. Lashley and Street Profits. Brainless One also agrees. Lashley and Street Profits. All right, then we have the Spooky Pals with the Undisputed Tag Team Championships going against Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. I'm not a big fan of makeshift tag teams. What they've done here to bring Cody and Jey together makes sense. The Spooky Pals needed somebody to go against, somebody fresh, somebody new, somebody not DIY, because DIY needs to be built up to something to the audience that's watching Monday Night Raw. Spooky Pals need to win this match, in my view. They're so hot right now. There's no reason to stop the train from rolling. I know that Priest has the Money in the Bank briefcase, and he could cash that in at any time. Quite honestly, he could possibly cash in, once the last man standing match ends, whoever is left standing, I don't see it out of the realm of possibility that he wins that title. Spooky Pals could lose the match, and then Damian could go and cash in later in the night. A lot of ways they could do this, but I don't see them taking the Undisputed Tag titles off them to give it to Cody and Jey. I don't like the idea of putting it on a new makeshift tag team versus a faction that's been together for the past, year and a half, 2 years. All right, Chris Brown going a little bit different. Cody and Jey win by DQ. Priest costs them the match. Finn and Rhea get pissed and say there's consequences on Raw. Okay, so you're sowing the seeds of doubt in the breakup of the Spooky Pals. Now, Chris, with this, are you saying that they more or less will exchange JD McDonough for Damian Priest? And if you do that, if you're in the Judgment Day, do you trade out somebody who will most likely become a world heavyweight champion in the next 10 months? I mean, it seems silly unless you want to have Priest win that title and then he'll have an immediate feud with Finn Balor or somebody within the Judgment Day. That could be another way they do it. I just don't think now is the time. We have other factions that are kind of breaking up. The Bloodline's been breaking in pieces for a bit. So All right. I hear you. I hear you, Chris Brown. All right. But I believe Spooky Pals win this. That's my belief. All right. Then we have the triple threat match between Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka. This is for the Women's Championship. Asuka stated a couple of months ago that her time is running out in WWE. Whether or not this is a ploy to get a bigger contract, or if this is legit, the end of her run, she thinks she's come to the end of her. She's had an incredible run on the main roster, had an incredible run in NXT. If this is the end of her, she's certainly going to eat the pin. Even if it isn't the end of her, I think she's eating the pin. The biggest question for me in this, does Jade Cargill get involved? There have been inklings, rumors, innuendos put out there that she may be making her debut at Fastlane. We have not seen her on any advertisement as of yet. Do we get her in this match, and does she help one way or another somebody to win? Or does she attack somebody specifically to start a new feud? It's not out of the realm of possibility that Jade immediately goes and attacks Charlotte. I don't think it's a great idea. I think Jade should start small and have like some squash matches and build up her credibility with that audience. But there's also a frame of thought out there that go after the big fish. Go after somebody like Charlotte. Have a really good showing where it shows that you can hang with the best of the best in the women's division, and then you move on from there. I would say kind of a la what they did with Cody and Seth. Could it happen? Maybe. What I think will happen, I think Io retains. And I do think Jade is going to get involved, and it's going to be because of Jade's involvement that Io retains. Whether or not it's attacking Charlotte or whether or not it's laying out Asuka, it could be a thing where she costs Asuka. And then Asuka, on her way out, does the honors for Jade. I think I like that better than her going against Charlotte right away. So I'm going to say Io retains. All right, Chris Brown saying he wants Asuka to get it back, and makes a ton of sense since Kairi Sane is coming back soon. Mike Rainey saying, unfortunately, I think Charlotte wins the title. I enjoy the fact that we have all decided to disagree with each other as far as who wins, except for I am agreeing actually with the brainless one. The brainless one has Io Sky. Chris Brown saying Jade will appear at the top of the ramp at the end of the match for shock value. I don't see that as out of the realm of possibility. They could go an awful lot of ways here. All right, so we have Seth Franklin Rollins going against Shinsuke Nakamura in a last man standing match. I think it's interesting the way they've done the build to this program, where the champion is the one chasing the challenger. where like the person who won the last match almost feels like they didn't win, and they're so like, no, I feel like this person's getting the better of me, and I can't deal with that as a performer, as a professional, as somebody that is a champion. I've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed the fact that Nakamura is more sinister. This is the best version of Nakamura we've had in WWE. Will that be enough for them to put the title on him? I don't think so. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins. I think he retains and keeps going forward. As much as there's part of me that thinks if he gets beaten and is able to go out and actually rest and heal up some of his injuries, Rollins is a warrior, knows where his spot is right now, knows that he's probably the hottest he's been in his career, and does not want that white hot glow to be snuffed out. I think Rollins ends up winning, and I think this is a classic match. I think this is match of the night. I'm going with Seth Franklin Rollins. Brainless One is going with Shinsuke Nakamura in this one. All right, Mike Rainey agreeing with me with Seth Franklin Rollins. But after the match, he's saying Shinsuke attacks Rollins afterwards to the point where they write Rollins off TV for a while. That could happen. All right, Chris Brown also saying that Priest comes out threatening to cash in, but based off what happens tonight, he hesitates. Okay. And the main event of the evening, we have Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso versus John Cena and LA Knight. Yeah! Yeah! I don't think there's any way that the Bloodline wins this match. Cena and LA Knight have to win. To me, this is the lock. As much as Lashley and the Street Profits should have been the lock, this is my lock of the night. Cena and LA Knight winning this. Heck, main event Jey Uso is also on this card, and maybe he gets maybe a little bit involved with his family and does something. I know they tried to going, oh, yep, this is over. He quit because he doesn't want to deal with his family. Maybe he just does do something with his family at the end. But yeah. All right, Mike Rainey, Cena, and LA Knight. All right. And also Brainless One picked Cena and LA Knight as well. All right, so that is your Fastlane card.